Hello, awesome humans. I want to share something with you today, which is a practice that has been probably the most impactful and powerful practice for me and people I've taught it to in terms of building confidence. Would you like that? I think most of us would like that, which brings me to my first point before I share the practice. It is normal and part of being human to have self-doubt. It's one of these things. I hear this a lot from people tell me, "Oh, but you seem so confident. You get on these big stages, you speak, you do a lot of workshops." Well, a lot of times I have a lot of self-doubt because self-doubt doesn't mean you're not a confident person or um, there's something wrong with you. Self-doubt just means your brain is functioning normally. What do I mean by that? And this is so important to normalize this. Whenever you're doing something new or challenging, it is normal for your brain to have fear and doubt. If you didn't feel fear and doubt, that will be a cause for alarm, right? And the reason for this is actually really simple. Your brain's number one job is to keep you safe from danger. Your brain doesn't actually care about your fulfillment, your happiness, it just wants you to be alive, right? Your brain's pretty binary. Alive, good. Dead, not good. So all things I'm going to do to help you stay alive. And so whenever you're facing a new situation, an unfamiliar situation, there might be possible danger there. Your brain, it's not familiar to your brain. It doesn't know how to protect you. It doesn't know what danger there is. So it experiences fear and doubt. So whenever you feel doubt, I just want you to feel that it's normal. There's nothing wrong with you. And I think that's a really, really important step. Okay, so now that we've normalized that as human beings, doubt is completely part of just being alive and being up to stuff and doing new and challenging things, what do you do with it? So this brings me to this practice that I want to share with you, and it's called as if, and I'm going to describe it to you. I'm going to break it down how to do it. But the one other thing that I want to mention is, I do a lot of work with individuals and companies around confidence. And one thing I've really kind of come to understand is that confidence is mostly about learning how to manage your emotions. So confidence is mostly about emotional mastery, recognizing what you're feeling and then leading yourself through it, having the tools to lead yourself through it. And so there's no such thing as a confident person or a not confident person. There is a person who knows themselves emotionally, who has emotional awareness, who recognizes what emotions they're feeling and has the tools to lead themselves through the challenging emotions like doubt, has emotional mastery. And there are people who don't have those tools. But there's no such thing as a confident or not confident person. Confidence is a skill we can all build. And so I want you to really kind of think about that you're not confident or not confident. It's, are you practicing emotional mastery? Do you have the tools to lead yourself through the normal doubt that you're going to feel or not? And so I want to share one of these tools with you. And like I said, this has been life-changing, a life-changing practice. So it is called as if, and I learned it from neurolinguistic programming, which is where it comes from. And neurolinguistic programming has been a really interesting field for me to study because it is all about giving your brain a new mental map through which to see the world. Because the mental map that we have in our brain is how we see the world. It determines our actions, our decisions, our choices that we make. So the mental map, the lens through which you see the world is really important. Okay, so as if practice. This is really great. So when you feel doubt, let's just focus on doubt. When you feel doubt, what as if practice asks you to do is to think about how would you act as if that doubt was gone. So if you got through that doubt, if you were someone who is feeling confident in that moment, how would you act? Acting as if. So for example, when you're doing something and you're thinking, this isn't going to work out. So the as if shift is, what would I do if I knew if this was going to work out? Or I don't think I can do this, right? A very common form of doubt. The as if shift is, what would you do if you knew that you could do it? And here's the nuance. As if is not about, fake it till you make it. It is not that at all. It is all about shifting and expanding and giving your brain a new mental map so it can focus on other things, so it can come up with ideas for other actions, so it can feel different emotions, right? Let's just do this live right now. So think of something that you have doubt about, something in your life where you're worried it's not going to work or you're not going to be able to do it. Think of that situation. Okay. And now I want you to think about, okay, if you knew you could do it, what would you do today? What actions would you take if you knew you could do it? Notice the immediate shift that you experience. Like, I feel it in my body. So let me use myself as an example. I've shared with you on previous episodes that one of the things I've committed to this year is really growing my art career. I've been painting for about 10 years. I started when I was 40, but I've kind of kept it on the side. And I really just want to bring it into the fold of all the other things I do. And so I have a lot of doubt. It's new for me to look at my art as a career. And I have a lot of doubt, right? Can I make it? Will people love my art? Can I be an established artist, et cetera, et cetera. So let's choose one of those doubts. So one of my doubts is, will my art really resonate when I start to share it more and show it more? So the as if practice would say, if I knew that my art will resonate, what would I do? Well, I immediately feel the shift. So instead of my brain focusing on what if people don't like it? What if there's no interest? What if I feel like people aren't really connecting with my art? Negativity bias. Your brain is focusing on what's wrong. You feel really limited, constricted, right? Smallish. Instead of, I know that people will love my art, that it really resonates. So what would I do? Well, my brain, I immediately feel more expansive. My brain is immediately feeling more energized. Well, what would I do? I would make art and I would look for more opportunities to share it. That's the power of the as if practice. So again, this isn't about fake it till you make it. It is about shifting the mental map in your brain away from and giving your brain different direction. So when your brain is in doubt and in fear, the negativity bias that we all naturally have, it gets even more sensitive. So your brain is really focusing on, okay, yes, what if this doesn't work out? What if people don't like my art? They're going to judge me. I'm going to feel bad. It's a downward negativity spiral. It does not encourage action. It does not inspire you to action. It is not motivating. It does not encourage you to think in ways of what's possible. So shifting the as if is saying, okay, if I knew I could do this, what would I do? And that opens up, it's a new mental map for your brain. Oh, if I know I can do this, what would I do? Well, I would reach out to this person. I'd share my art or a blog or a piece of writing or my idea at work, right? That's the shift. That's the as if practice. And I have to tell you, as I said at the beginning, I have practiced this a lot. And I have taught this to hundreds, probably thousands of people at this point. And of so many of the things that I teach, this has been one of the most impactful, both for me and just hearing of the impact that it's having for people. So I really encourage you to practice this. And again, you can do it with anything, but I just want you to focus on the self-doubt because, again, it is normal to feel doubt whenever you're doing something new. There is nothing wrong with you. In fact, feeling doubt says, yeah, you're a human being. You're up to stuff. Okay, good. But now you want to practice emotional mastery, right? We talked about how confidence is not a trait. It's a skill that you build by learning tools, just like this practice, to guide yourself through the doubt and the fear. So the next time you have doubt, or you can practice it, maybe the doubt you identified earlier, again, think about, okay, I'm worried about this, or this won't work out. Recognize, acknowledge the doubt, acknowledge the fear. You always want to bring that emotion into the light, because when you can see it clearly, it has less hold over you immediately. And then practice as if. So shift out of, what if this doesn't work? As if, ask yourself, what would I do if I knew this would work? Or if you're worried, I don't know if I can do this, or I don't think I can do this, the as if question is, what would I do if I knew that I can do this, right? What would I do if I knew that I can do this? And that's the shift. And again, when you're doing this, what I want you to understand that's happening in your brain is you're literally giving your brain a different direction to focus on. So you're literally saying to your brain, instead of focusing on possible danger, being rejected, being judged, and all the fear, I want you to focus on the positive. I want you to focus on all the possibilities. I want you to focus on what could go well. When you shift your brain out of this negativity bias and into thinking about in this mindset of possibilities of, oh, if I know I can do this, what would I do? It shifts not just the direction of your thoughts, but your brain starts coming up with new ideas for things that you want to do. And you feel differently because your brain is not in that downward spiral of fear and doubt. It's in an upward spiral of positive energy, of motivation, and having self-trust that, yes, I can do this. So I really encourage you to practice this as if practice, like I said, has been life-changing. And the next time you feel that doubt, just remind yourself that you are in control. Yes, your brain has these natural tendencies. Your brain naturally fears new things. Your brain naturally focuses on what's wrong. This is how our brain thinks it's protecting us. You can get in the driver's seat. Just because your brain has a thought, just because your brain is focused in a certain direction, doesn't mean you have to follow. So the first part of confidence is actually recognizing when you're in fear or doubt, and then getting in control, taking the wheel from your brain, practicing emotional mastery, having inner guidance, leading yourself through that doubt, not eliminating it. You can't eliminate it. It's a natural occurrence. But you recognize that fear and doubt, and then you take the wheel from your brain and you shift. You practice as if to shift the direction in which your brain is focused. I hope you find this as powerful and life-changing as it has been for me and my clients. As always, thank you for being here. I love hearing from you. Tell me what resonates. You can always shoot me an email to natalie@happier.com. And if you find this valuable or you think this could benefit someone in your life, please share this episode and review and rate it on your favorite podcasting platform. This helps other awesome humans find it and benefit from it. And I'm super grateful for you doing that. Have an awesome, wonderful rest of your week. And I will see you here back next week for our next episode. And if you're listening, then I'll be in your ear next week. Have an awesome rest of your week.